Welcome to 6th Standard Science, Term 3, Unit 4, Part 2, Our Environment. So children, listen carefully to the session, and in case if you have any doubt, make a note of it and it will be rectified on the day of reopening. Children, it's time to revise our previous session. In previous session, we have seen about what is an ecosystems and types, food chain and energy flow and trophic levels and food web. Now let's start the today's session, waste management and recycling. Children, to protect our environment, it is very important. To reduce waste, manage it properly and maximize recycling. Children, see, waste is any substance or material that has been used but is not wanted anymore. This is either because it is worn out, broken, or no longer has any purpose. Children, I will repeat this. Waste is any substance or material that has been used but is not wanted anymore. This is either because it is worn out, broken, or no longer has any purpose. Everyone produces waste, and our waste has an impact on all ecosystems. Children, what is an ecosystem? Ecosystem is a community of living and non-living things that work together. Children, however, most of us do not know where our garbage goes. There are many types of waste. There are many types of waste. For example, there is liquid waste in our drains. There are gases hidden in the air like pollutants from factories. And there is solid waste we put in our waste bins. Okay children, now let's move on to the next topic, solid waste. Children, solid waste can be classified into two major types, biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. Children, solid waste can be classified into two major types, biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. Now let's see one by one. First, let's see the biodegradable waste. What is biodegradable waste? The term biodegradable is used for those things that can be easily composed by natural agents like water, oxygen, ultraviolet rays of the sun and microorganisms, etc. I will repeat this. The term biodegradable is used for those things that can be easily composed by natural agents like water, oxygen, ultraviolet rays of the sun and microorganisms, etc. For example, a banana peel is thrown outside. It is acted upon by several microorganisms like bacteria, fungi or small insects in a time period. Children, a banana peel is thrown outside. It is acted upon by several microorganisms like bacteria, fungi or small insects in a time period. See, biodegradable waste includes vegetable and fruit peels, leftover food and garden waste like grass, leaves, weeds and twigs. So these are the examples of biodegradable waste. And natural elements like oxygen, water, moisture and heat facilitate the decomposition, thereby breaking complex organic forms to simpler units. decomposed matter evenly mixes or turns back to the soil, and thus the soil is once again nourished with various nutrients and minerals. Next, let's see non-degradable waste. The materials which cannot be broken down or decomposed into the soil by microorganisms and natural agents are labeled as non-biodegradable. I will repeat this. The materials which cannot be broken down or decomposed into the soil by microorganisms and natural agents are labeled as non-biodegradable. See, plastic materials, metal scraps, aluminium cans and bottles. So these are the examples of non-biodegradable waste. Children, these things are partially immune to the natural process and thus cannot be fed upon or broken down even after thousands of years. Next, let's move on to the next topic, solid waste management. Children, it is our duty to reduce creating waste and protect environment. Children, the 3 R's are important in protecting environment. What is 3 R's? The first R is reduced, and the second R is reuse, and the last R is recycle. Children, the first R is reduce, and the second R is reuse, and the last R is recycle. Now let's see the steps. First one, avoid. Avoid the usage of unwanted materials which create more debris. Before you buy anything, think that, do I really need it? Step 2, reduce. We can reduce the waste by using durable goods that last longer instead of things that are used once and thrown away. For example, write on both sides of paper and share newspapers, magazines and other things with others. Step 3, reuse. Reusing means using a thing again and again rather than using and throwing after a single use. For example, instead of using plastic bags, use and thrown pens and batteries, use cloth bags, fountain pens and rechargeable batteries. Then reuse glass bottles for other purpose, repair footwears and use them. Step 4, recycle. The process by which waste materials are used to make new products is called recycle. I will repeat this. The process by which waste materials are used to make new products is called recycling. For example, using old cloths to make paper and melting some plastics to make floor mats and plastic boards and hose pipes. Step 5, compost. The process of degradation of organic wastes into manure by the action of microorganism is called composting. What is composting? The process of degradation of organic wastes into manure by the action of microorganism is called composting. The manure thus obtained becomes natural fertilizer for the plants as well as increases the soil fertility. Step 6, incinerate. The burning of solid waste in incinerator is called incineration. Children, what is incineration? The burning of solid waste in incinerator is called incineration. Human anatomical wastes, for example, discarded medicines, toxic drugs, blood and pus are disposed by means of incineration. During incineration, the enormous heat kills all contagious disease causing germs. We can also produce electricity with the help of this heat. The last step, landfill. Landfilling is a method in which wastes are dumped into naturally occurring or man-made pits and covered with soil. Children, see, Landfilling is a method in which wastes are dumped into naturally occurring or man-made pits and covered with soil. Garbage buried inside landfills remains here for a long time as they decompose very slowly and become manure. These places can be converted into parks and gardens, etc. Children, you should remember. There are 2 steps you should remember. Step 1. The first step should always be to reduce waste. Think of the 3 R's and the waste pyramid and remember the order of the levels. Step 2. The second step is to keep waste separate. This way, the waste will remain clean and can be easily reused or recycled. Mixing different types of waste together. Example, biodegradable and non-biodegradable makes waste dirty. Dirty waste gets sent to a landfill or open dump. Next, let's see the solid waste management rules. That is SWM. Rule 1. Every household should segregate and store the waste generated by them in 3 separate streams, namely biodegradable, non-biodegradable and domestic hazardous waste in suitable bins and hand over segregated wastes to authorized waste pickers or waste collector as per the direction or notification by the local authorities from time to time. Children, domestic hazardous waste means discarded paint drums, pesticide cans, CFL bulbs, tube lights, expired medicines, broken mercury thermometers, used batteries, used needles and syringes, and contaminated cage, etc. Rule 2. Nobody shall throw, burn or bury the solid waste on streets, open public space outside his permission or in the drain or water bodies. Children, next let's move on to the next topic, pollution. Children, pollution occurs when the environment gets contaminated by waste, chemicals and harmful substance. Pollution is the damage caused to the environment mainly because of human activities. Any substance that causes pollution is known as a pollutant. Children, what is pollutant? Any substance that causes pollution is known as a pollutant. Pollution is an unwanted change in the physical, chemical and biological characteristics of our land, air or water. Children, there are 4 major kinds of pollution. They are air pollution, water pollution, land pollution and noise pollution. There are 4 major kinds of pollution. They are air pollution, water pollution, land pollution and noise pollution. First, let's see air pollution. Children, most air pollution is caused by the burning of fossil fuels. Example, oil, petrol, coal and natural gas. These fossil fuels are used in factories, that is industries, power plants and motor vehicles. Children, burning these fossil fuels release toxic gases and fine particles such as ash and soot into the air, causing air pollution. Air pollution is also caused by burning solid waste, especially some plastics, gases or chemicals released from factories and fumes from aerosols like deodorant spray cans or paints. See, certain toxic gases produced by industries mix with raindrops high in the atmosphere and make rain unusually acidic. This is called acid rain. Children, what is an acid rain? Certain toxic gases produced by industries mix with raindrops high in the atmosphere and make rain unusually acidic. This is called acid rain. It damages plants, washes the nutrients out of the soils, and kills fish. Children, how can we reduce air pollution? Let's see one by one. Cycle or walk short distance instead of using a motor vehicle. Travel by public transport, bus or train. Do not burn solid waste and avoid fireworks. Next, water pollution. Children, water pollution occurs when wastes from factories, houses and homes mixes with the water in rivers, lakes, ponds, the ocean or even groundwater. And contaminated or polluted water can spread disease and chemicals which are not good for our health. Children, the most significant sources of water pollutants are sewage, water we use at home for bathing, cleaning and cooking. Next, industrial effluents, liquid wastes from factories. And then agricultural pollutants, chemical, pesticides and fertilizers that get washed from farms. Next, solid waste, when waste gets dumped into water bodies. Children, how can we reduce water pollution? First one, do not pour leftover oil, old medicines or waste down the drain or into the toilet. Second one, reduce the use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers to grow crops. Third one, use wastewater for garden in home. Fourth one, do not litter or dump waste. Always use a waste bin. Next, let's see the land pollution. Children, see, land or soil pollution happens when toxic chemicals change the natural balance in soil. Land pollution comes from farming, excess use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers, mining, digging up metals and other materials, factories, industrial waste, and the soil waste from our own homes like plastics and broken electronics. And soil pollution affects animals, humans and even plants because soil or land acts like a sponge. When it rains, polluted sinks into the soil. If we grow plants to eat in polluted soils, these dangerous chemicals can get into our food. How can we reduce land pollution? First, try to reduce waste, then recycle the rest. Second one, always use a waste bin and never litter. Third one, do not burn waste. The ash mixes easily with soil. Next, noise pollution. What is noise pollution? Noise pollution affects the environment. We all like a quiet and peaceful place since unpleasant or loud sounds disturb us. Loud music, the sounds of motor vehicles, fireworks and machines cause noise pollution. Children, loud music, the sounds of motor vehicles, fireworks and machines cause noise pollution. Children, continuous noise disturb our sleep. Continuous noise disturb our sleep and does not let us to study. Noise pollution has been directly linked to stress and health impacts such as high blood pressure and hearing loss. Loud noise or even loud music can damage our ears. Children, noise pollution also disturbs animals. Birds have to communicate, that means talk louder, so that they can hear each other in noisy areas. Even underwater noise pollution from ships can make whales lose their way as they use sounds to navigate. How can we reduce noise pollution? First one, turn off your electronics when you do not use them. Second one, lower the volume when you watch TV or listen to music. Third one, remind drives not to use the horn too much. Fourth one, avoid fireworks. Fifth one, speak. Do not shout. Try to set an example. Okay children, now we came to an end of the session. So, maintain a separate notebook for science. If you have any doubt, make a note of it. Okay children, it's time for questions. First one, define biodegradable waste. Second one, what are the types of pollution? Third one, how can we reduce water pollution? Fourth one, define pollutant. Fifth one, how can we reduce air pollution?